happening in other buildings.
Former New York City Fire Commissioner Tom Van Essen, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
You're welcome.
Ahead in the next hour of Newsroom, new questions and new doubts in the mystery of that missing Malaysia Airlines flight. Families of those on board growing ever more frustrated.
I am upset. Very, very upset. I am really hoping they will find this plane.
Still to come in the Newsroom, we explore whether this desperate search could turn into a criminal investigation. The second hour Newsroom starts after a break.
Some don't know that Jaguar is one of the fastest growing luxury automotive brands. But they certainly do. The XF from Jaguar. Oh, it's good to be bad.
Visit your local Jaguar retailer during the Mark Your Territory Spring Sales event.
Your paycheck. Your family depends on it. But if something happened to you, you need life insurance. And chances are SelectQuote can get it for you for under $1 a day. SelectQuote found Alec, 38, a $500,000 policy for under $19 a month. Phil, 41, smokes an occasional cigar. Still, SelectQuote got him a $500,000 policy for under $23 a month. SelectQuote found Kenesha, 39, a $350,000 policy for under $14 a month. SelectQuote's secret? They impartially shop a select group of highly rated companies like these for your best rates. Give your family the security it needs at a price you can afford. Call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Sunday, and all-new death row stories.
In 1986, Gloria Killian was facing the death penalty for plotting a crime that led to a gruesome murder. Prosecutors hid a secret deal. The key witness lied. That's where the story begins, but not where it ends. Meet the mother of an American hero who believed in Gloria when no one else did.
I knew she wasn't guilty.
Death row stories, all new, Sunday night at 9 on CNN.
Admit it, you never thought you'd see this day. The day you could walk without shooting pain in your back. All because you took the first step and had surgery at Laser Spine Institute, the experts in outpatient minimally invasive neck and back surgery. All it takes is an incision less than 1 inch and you'll be up and walking within a few hours of surgery, and there is no lengthy recovery. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic conditions, call today for a free MRI review.
And when I had that back surgery, I had immediate relief. I was 100% pain-free. Don't do what I did. Don't wait. Take your life back.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-855-509-STEP for a free MRI review.
Go from a life of pain to a lifetime of living. Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery.
I'm Christiana Manpour, and this is CNN.
Happening now in the Newsroom, the mystery of Flight 370 deepens.
The plane vanished. Trust me when I say we will not give up.
Overnight, search crews come up empty. This turned out to be nothing.
It was near 370's flight path in waters between Malaysia and Vietnam, approximately 140 miles from where the plane's transponder went silent.
Is the search back to square one?
Why have you got such limited knowledge as to what happened to flight MH370?
And new reports just coming out claiming the flight was still in the air some 4 hours longer than previously thought.
The revelation could force a further expansion of the search that already spans 27,000 nautical square miles.
This as American investigators are on the ground trying to find answers. You're live in the CNN Newsroom. morning. I'm Carol Costello. Thanks so much for joining me. The search for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, 6 days have gone by, and Malaysian authorities are back to square one. This is all they know right now. Flight 370 left Kuala Lumpur at 12:41 a.m. Saturday. At 1:20 a.m., it dropped off the radar. At 2:15 a.m., something showed up on military defense radar near the Straits of Malacca, far from Flight 370's route. That's about all they know. So let's focus on that. Let's focus actually on this Wall Street Journal report. What if that something was Flight 370? What if it flew on for hours after it dropped from the radar? What if it landed somewhere for some other purpose? That's what the Wall Street Journal is reporting this morning. So let's talk about that. With me now, CNN's Richard Quest and Kirk Fryer, the president of Sarasota Avionics, and a man who knows all about transponders. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Malaysia, I want to start with you, Richard. Malaysian authorities say the Wall Street Journal is wrong, but the paper is quoting U.S. investigative sources who say pulses from the plane's engines were picked up by the engine's manufacturer, Rolls-Royce. So, Richard, can you help us understand that?
Well, let's understand, first of all, what this information would be if it's true. The engines are designed to continually transmit information via the aircraft's ACARS system, the automatic system of reporting. So it's all things like the speed of the engines, the revolutions, the temperature, basically maintenance and performance information on the engines that help both Malaysian Airlines and Rolls-Royce in dealing with how these engines are performing. Now, this would have continued, but here's the problem. That information or that system relies on the aircraft's own ACARS system to send out the information. And if that failed, as we'd been told, well, then the other information would... We have basically here, Carol, one side and the other side. The Wall Street Journal says that Rolls-Royce have told them, or that they have it from authority, they have it from unnamed sources, that the engines continued to transmit information. The Malaysian authorities say categorically at their news conference this morning in Kuala Lumpur, this is not true. Rolls and Boeing have said nothing of the sort.
So, Kirk, do you care to tell us what you make of this?
Yeah. Well, the ACARS device would also send abnormal flight conditions as well. So if there was any kind of stalls or a deep dive or something abnormal in that airplane, it would send that information to Malaysian Airlines or to Boeing. Also, I'm questioning what happened if it did crash. What happened to the ELT, the emergency locator beacon? There should have been some kind of, if it did crash, some kind of signal that it should have sent out, even a small blip, unless it was a complete catastrophic, explosion or something, then the ELT or the ACARS wouldn't have even worked.
Yeah, there's so many unanswered questions. And Kirk, the Wall Street Journal also is reporting counterterrorism investigators are investigating whether the plane was hijacked and actually landed in some remote area. That, of course, means the plane's transponder would have been deliberately shut off. In your mind...
It could have been, yes, it could have been. They do have a couple transponders on board. If the hijackers would have known that system, they would have been able to turn that system off. Hopefully, if the pilot, the co-pilot, knew that the hijackers were coming or trying to get in the door, they should have been able to hit 7500 squawk code, which is international code for hijacking, on the transponder. So hopefully, ATC would have seen that 7500 come over the transponder, even if it got turned off before the hijackers were able to to turn it off.
So, Richard, if the transponder was somehow turned off, could that plane land somewhere and no one know about it?
Well, yes. If the transponder was switched off, and the plane was no longer squawking, as it's known, then yes, the plane would continue. I mean, the transponder has absolutely nothing to do with the ability of the aircraft to fly. It's just literally I'm here, this is who I am. But what would have happened, as that plane was flying, there would be full-scale, full-throttle radar tracks. Yes, the 777 could have flown low and it could have tried to evade it, but you're not talking about a stealth fighter jet here. You're talking about one of the largest you're talking about the largest twin-engine jet in the world, so that's unlikely. And there's one other point. Now, if they wanted to switch off all the reporting systems, the transponder, the SATCOM, the ACARS systems, if they all were going to be switched off, yes, pilots tell me that is possible, but it's not easy, and you have to know what you're doing. And again, you come back, Carol, to the fundamental flaw in the hijack argument, which is the hijack and landing argument, which is there's no radar trace. You can't just fly a 777 and not have a radar trace.
Well, you'd need a pretty big landing strip too, wouldn't you? I mean, if you're going to land that thing,
yes.
right?
Yes, I mean, you know, look, you need a minimum of 6 up to 10,000 feet if you're going to land that plane safely.
So, Kirk, you're the expert. What do you make of this? Like all of it? Kirk, can you hear me still? Oh, darn, I really wanted to know the answer from Kirk. So, Richard, I'll ask you that question. We have so many bits and pieces of information, but Malaysia kind of shoots all of them down. So we are back to square one. So what should we make of all of this?
I'm going to be marginally more optimistic when, yeah, we're back to square one at one level. But where we are, Carol, the investigation has now tightened up. You can feel it in the press conferences. You can feel it in the information. The initial shock and crisis and rabbit in the headlights has now gone from the Malaysian authorities. There's a sort of a much more intense way in which they're answering questions and dealing with the information. And I'm guessing partly that's because they've got into their stride. But I also think, and I've no evidence for this other than just a gut feeling from watching these over years. I think it's the NTSB, the FAA, and all those people who are extremely experienced at investigating flight crashes. They are now on the ground, and they are now they're now getting their hands dirty in helping the Malaysians on this.
I hope so, because there's no organization better than the NTSB. They're amazing. So, Kirk, I'll ask you the question that you couldn't hear. In listening to all that's going on, all that's gone on during this investigation, what do you make of it as somebody who's an expert in flight?
It's just amazing. That type of airplane completely disappeared. It's like a Bermuda Triangle effect or something. It's just, I can't see that airplane flying for 2,200 miles landing at some airport without somebody knowing. That airplane has to land at a very big airport, which is usually a major city. So it's unreasonable that that airplane flew somewhere else, unless some secret military base or something that it would just disappear like that and not found. With the technology that we have today with that ultrasound into the water and radar penetrating systems, that we can't find it even if it is on the bottom of the ocean. It's amazing that they can't find it now. So
amazing and quite sad. Kirk Fryer, Richard Quest, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Carol.
Earlier this morning, I spoke with the former NTSB Vice Chairman Bob Francis to get his perspective on his former agency's role in the search for that missing jet, the politics involved, and that Wall Street Journal report that has sparked new questions about what happened after Flight 370 disappeared. I know NTSB investigators are in Malaysia helping with the investigation, as are FAA investigators. But how much input do you think they really have?
Huge.
Well, I would hope they have a lot, because there's certainly nobody more competent to do this kind of thing. On the other hand, from what one hears, there's a lot of politics going on out there, and the Malaysians are, at least for the moment, in charge of the investigation. And so you go and do what they tell you to do. The NTSB is a technical agency. The U.S. government or the U.S. itself doesn't have any interest in this other than finding out what happened. I just find the Andy Pastor article remarkable, and it's one of a series of remarkable things that we continue to come across in this investigation.
Let's go back to that. You're talking about the Wall Street Journal report. You find it remarkable. Why?
Well, Andy Pastor is a very reputable journalist who knows his stuff in aviation as much as anyone. And for him to have created this article out of whole cloth, for me, stretches
credulity.
Credulity, yes. So you don't know where to go. I mean, I I would go with what Andy said because I have great faith in him, and he